Hi, this is Rob, and in this video we're talking about the two contrasting linking words despite and in spite of. These are a little bit formal. They're going to be useful for you if you're taking an exam soon, if you've got to write essays or give presentations. Sometimes we use them in normal conversation as well. This is the My English Teacher Rob channel, where we're all about helping you to change your life through English. Let's get stuck in. I want to begin this lesson by explaining the basic meaning of these linking words. Despite and in spite of mean essentially the same thing. There are some slight grammar differences which we'll have a look at in a bit. They're used to show contrast. It's when we've got something surprising or there's like a strange circumstance. In particular, we have one situation that we want to say does not influence a second situation. Sometimes you might find that this contrast of meaning is implied by the presence of the connector itself rather than clear from the two halves of the sentence. Sarah passed her exam in spite of her situation. In that sentence, we don't know what Sarah's situation was, but we understand that it probably wasn't a very good one. In grammar terms then, despite and in spite of are both prepositions, but don't get too caught up on that. What you should do is focus carefully on the meaning and on producing your own examples following the ideas that I'm giving you in this video. You can even put some in the comments section underneath this video. Both in spite of and despite can be placed at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. If you put them at the beginning of a sentence, they're likely to be followed by a comma, though in some shorter sentences, the comma isn't always necessary. Let's have a look at these structures then. Both in spite of and despite can be followed by a noun or a noun phrase. If you don't know what a noun phrase is, it's a group of words that together function as one noun in a sentence. Despite the bus taking ages to arrive, I was still on time for work. He cycles to work every day despite the cold. In spite of her English level, she was still able to communicate her basic needs. In this sentence, it's implied that her English level was not very good. Despite and in spite of can both also be used with the gerund or the verb ing form. Despite doing exercise every day, he's always very tired. Despite working 7 days a week, he still never has any money. Sometimes we even see these linking words followed by a pronoun. You must follow your heart, despite what everyone else thinks. Despite what I said yesterday, I still think you're a good person. Hopefully, you're starting to get a feeling for that surprise element of this connector now. In that last sentence, it's implied that yesterday I said something about you that wasn't very nice. But today, I'm telling you that I think you're a good person. This is a contrast in ideas. Also, it's a surprising contrast. Another thing that we can do with these connectors is add the words the fact that. When we do this, this makes the connector a little bit more emphatic because, well, we have to use a bit more energy to say it because it's longer. When we use in spite of the fact that or despite the fact that, we use a slightly different structure. They're followed by a full English sentence or subject, verb and complement. Despite the fact that London is expensive, I still love visiting. In spite of the fact that his wife died many years ago, he still continues to make her breakfast every morning. She smokes 60 cigarettes every single day, in spite of the fact that her doctor ordered her to quit. Note that in each of these examples, I've included the words that in parentheses. This is because we tend to omit that in less formal contexts. Let's talk about the mistakes now then. What I generally find with these connectors is that most of you have no problem whatsoever understanding the basic underlining meaning and the situations when they're used. What you are doing is getting the various structures or the grammar of them mixed up. And it's really important for that reason to practice them. One such mistake is using despite or in spite of plus subject and verb, such as despite he goes to work every day, or despite London is expensive. This is wrong because these structures have to be used with the fact that. So despite the fact that he goes to work every day, despite the fact that London is expensive. Another mistake is saying despite of, as in despite of the fact he has no money. There's no of with despite. It's in spite of or despite with no of. Remember guys, use it or lose it. If your head is starting to spin a little bit from all of this information, don't worry, because we're going to have some practice with them now. Get out a piece of paper and a pen, and here are the 4 structures that we've looked at today. Write 4 practice sentences. When you finish, put them in the comments section underneath this video to share them with everybody else. This is the My English Teacher Rob channel, where we're all about helping you to become more fluent and confident in English so that you can change your life. I've got a whole load more videos coming with connectors, so if you found this one useful, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications by clicking that little bell icon before you go.
Could me be crazy?